Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I of course am the FPL Train, and in this video I'm going to be going through my team selection ahead of game week 3 in a game week where I do have 2 free transfers, and I can confirm that I've already made those transfers, so they're all locked in, so I will be revealing them. The reason why I did this is because the price changes were quite a lot, to be fair, and at the minute it's a 0.3 difference, so if I hold it until the deadline, I would have lost out on 0.3, possibly 0.4 if the final player does change in price before the deadline. But yeah, I've decided to go in early due to those reasons. But anyways, before I reveal those 2 players, I will of course be going through, should I say, game week 2, and you can see it on screen. But yeah, let's go through then my team for game week 2, and I gotta say I've done pretty well. I reckon I scored quite a lot of points, so I'll reveal the final number at the end, but I've got a nice green arrow, which is what it's all about. I mean, I was in just over 2 million. I am now 606,000 in the world, so I did have quite a hefty green arrow there, just because, I mean, it went quite well really. So we'll start off with the bench. So as you can see, everybody got 0. So obviously the keeper doesn't play, he's a backup goalkeeper. Barker's gone to Seville, so he's not going to play, and Cannon got no minutes for Leicester either. So the only player that did actually play was Mikalenko, and boy, it was a good job I left on the bench, because obviously Everton got absolutely battered by Spurs 4-0 in the end. So with those 4 goals going in, he lost 2 points. So in the end, he ended up with absolutely nothing off the bench for me. So, I mean, it worked out in the end really, because obviously everybody else who started did a hell of a lot better. So the goalkeeper was Martinez. I mean, look, I was not expecting much with Martinez, can't lie. It's, Arsenal, one of the best teams in the league. So, I mean, I was hoping for like maybe 3 points, get some save points. Wasn't the case. I mean, if he had one more save, he would have got a save point and had 2 points overall, but wasn't the case. Conceded 2 goals and a loss, but yeah, no surprise there. My defence, though, worked an absolute treat. The 3 that did actually start, so 7 points for Robinson, even though, obviously, of course, they conceded that goal to Leicester, but he got a nice little assist, and he got 2 bonus points for 7 points there. Virgil van Dijk, I was very happy with, mostly because, I mean, the clean sheet, yeah, you got high hopes because it's Liverpool, but he got the clean sheet, and he got a bonus point on top of that, so he also ended up on 7 points, which is great considering, obviously, Trent didn't get any bonus points this week, and I know a lot of people have got Trent, so that was great for me. And Pedro Porro, my other defender, also got a clean sheet. Just mentioned before how they absolutely battered Everton. So yeah, defence worked out a real treat. My midfield, starting us off here then, I got Emmanuel Smith-Rowe, 10 points, absolutely buzzing about that. Got a nice goal, 3 bonus points. Only played 68 minutes, but if he gets a goal and then comes off after 68 minutes all the time, I don't mind that. I was really happy with that. Saka only scored me 6 points. He did get an assist though, so at least he got some return. Now, he was somebody I was seriously considering about taking out, just because he had Aston Villa. I decided not to, and he still got a return. Obviously, there were other players that did better, but I'm definitely going to be taking that assist. Diego Jota, a man who, has to score goals or at least create an assist in order to stay in the team. He did get an assist against Brentford. Really happy about that. I was hoping he'll get a goal as well. He's not too far away from Salah in terms of points overall, which is great, because obviously there is a massive price difference. There is a massive price difference between them both. So to get another assist for him and for him to start again is fantastic. Obviously, he did go off early again, 71 minutes, but as long as he keeps starting games, I'm happy to keep him. Morgan Gibbs-White, absolutely buzzing about this one. So I didn't know what the Forest game was until I watched Match Today, and I did think, because it was last Match Today, it was going to be 0-0. So for the fact that he got that goal, absolutely loved it. And he got the bonus points as well, 2 of them, clean sheet as well, 10 points overall. The fact that my 2 players, Smith-Rowe and Gibbs-White, they're both differentials. I say differential now. Smith-Rowe is 23% owned. Blimey, that's skyrocketed. But yeah, I mean, Gibbs-White is clearly my biggest, differential in midfield. He's only 4.7% owned currently right now. to get those 10 points, absolutely buzzing. And then, unfortunately, finally, it's Bruno Fernandes, who only scored 2 points overall, which was, really, really disappointing. I mean, if Zerkzee never slid in to get that goal on the line, he would have came away with an assist, and I would have been buzzing. Wasn't the case, but I think the biggest disappointment as well has got to be the fact that he got subbed off after 78 minutes as well, when they weren't even winning, United. So he was probably my biggest letdown he was the biggest letdown, in my opinion, of the game week. And the two strikers, so Isak, blank, he got an assist in the first game, and another game without a goal, should I say, for him. Newcastle didn't look great again at this time against Bournemouth, so that's also a worry. Still over 50% owned, but so far, I mean, it's not looked great so far, and he's 2 points is disappointing. And of course, the big one, the captain, the hat-trick scorer, Erling Haaland, 34 points overall, absolutely smashed it. Obviously, when you look back, you could have obviously triple captain, but the fact that I weren't considering it, it doesn't really bother me. If I was thinking about it, then yeah, I would be absolutely gutted that I missed out on all those points, but I wasn't considering it, so I'd definitely taken those 34 points overall. So that, of course, leaves me with a total of 91 points overall. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely love that game week. It's always good when you get a massive, massive green arrow. I mean, to be in the top 1 million now is great. I mean, I was kind of hoping to do it slowly, if I'm being honest, but you know what? I'm definitely going to be taking it. Really happy with that. Let's hope game week 3 is just as good as game week 2. So let's go through my team then for game week 3, and starting us off is the goalkeeper, and of course it's going to be Martinez in goal. No change there whatsoever. This is the reason why I brought him at the start of the season. I mean, he was unfortunate not to get the clean sheet against West Ham, but now after the Arsenal game's done, he's got Leicester, Everton, Wolves and Ipswich in his next 4 fixtures. So this is what I was targeting. Yes, he was a bit more than 4.5 million like most people usually go for. I went for the 5 million goalkeeper just because I do like these fixtures coming up. Obviously, Vladimirson, however you say his name, of Brentford's not going to be playing because he's back up, which is a shame because he does have Southampton. But I'm pretty happy with Martinez, although I wouldn't be surprised if Jamie Vardy ruins that and scores a goal and takes my clean sheet away. With my defence then, the back 3, yet again, is the same back 3 than it was for game week 2. Just because I don't trust Mykolenko sat there on the bench against Bournemouth at home. I think Bournemouth will win that game. So I've got no faith in Everton currently right now. I know they beat Doncaster midweek in the Carabao Cup, but even then it was 0-0 at half time. Yes, they did win comfortably in the end, but it's Doncaster. It's not a Premier League team. So I don't have any trust at the moment in my Everton player in Mykolenko or Everton themselves. So the back 3 is going to be the same then. So it's Robinson, who's got Ipswich away. It's going to be interesting to see how that game goes. A lot of people are hyping up Ipswich to be this great team. So it's their first home game Ipswich. So they've got a chance really of winning. So I hope obviously they don't, if I'm being honest. So Robinson gets like a clean sheet. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Virgil van Dijk's got United away. It's going to be a tough one. I'm not expecting a clean sheet if I'm being honest. So you're probably wondering, well, why would I not go for Mykolenko? Just because I can see maybe United scoring 1, but I can also see Bournemouth scoring 3 against Everton the way they're playing right now. So that's why I'm sticking with Virgil van Dijk. And they could easily come away with a 1-0 win, Liverpool. So that's why I'm sticking with him. And Pedro Porro, Newcastle away. I'm sticking with him as well. This was probably the one that I'd really consider taking out, but Everton have been poor. Newcastle haven't been great, and their defence isn't looking good at all right now. So I just feel more comfortable going for the Spurs player rather than the Everton player. With my midfielders in, as you can see, there is only 4 midfielders there currently right now. I'm not going to be playing 3 up front. I'm just revealing my final midfielder at the end. Of course, that is because it's one of my 2 transfers that I've made. So as you can see, or if you don't remember, I will tell you now, Bruno Fernandes has been transferred out of my team, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Smith Rowe first up in my midfielders, got Ipswich away. Tough fixture, is it though? I mean, we'll find out really, because obviously Ipswich have had 2 real difficult fixtures, so now it's going to be interesting to see how Ipswich get on. Hopefully though, Smith Rowe gets a goal, and more important as well, more minutes on the pitch will be very much ideal. I've got Saka, of course. I've got Saka. He's got Brighton at home, which is looking to be a tough game. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle them, because obviously they beat United, Brighton did. So will Arsenal be able to, smash them, or will they also struggle like Man United do? So did, should I say. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Diego Jota also starting. That's a tough game, isn't it? Man United away. I mean, honestly, I'll be hoping he gets a goal, but I don't think he's going to get a goal, if I'm being honest. So not, very optimistic there. Smith Rowe's got a very nice fixture. He's up against his former team in Wolves. Obviously, he loves scoring against his former team. I don't know what it is. And the fact that it's at home as well is also an added bonus. And of course, he scored in the previous game. So fingers crossed he gets back-to-back goals there. So yeah, overall, those four midfielders have got... It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, I'm hoping the fact that Saka's playing at home, he does well. And I think the Ipswich game is probably going to be key there as well, on how Smith Rowe does. And of course, fingers crossed, Gibbs White gets that goal against his former team. And so then that leads me onto my strikers, or should I say striker. So obviously Cannon's going to be on the bench. So that leaves me at the minute just with Haaland. So as you can see then, Isak is also now out of my team. I'll talk about that a bit later. We'll talk about Erling Haaland first then. So Haaland's got West Ham United away. Coming back after, of course, a great game against Ipswich, where he got a nice cheeky hat-trick there. Will he be able to do as good against West Ham? We'll have to wait and see. I'm not that confident, if I'm being honest, how he'll get on, because it's away from home. I do think West Ham are a decent team, and Lopetegui is more of a defensive-minded manager. So we'll see how he gets on. But of course, Erling Haaland is going to be in my team. There was no chance I was going to be taking him out of my team. So Cole Palmer is the first transfer that I've made this season. I've taken out Bruno Fernandes. I mean, it weren't difficult, if I'm being honest. The biggest reason why I went in early on this as well is because Bruno was going down in value. He went down to 8.4 million in the end. Reason why I've taken him out, I was disappointed in the Fulham game. I mean, he played quite well, to be fair. He should have scored. He didn't, so he blanked in that game. The Brighton game wasn't great. I mean, yes, he was centimetres away getting an assist there. But I think the fact as well, he came off after 78 minutes. Look, I had Bruno Fernandes a lot last season at the start. I kept him. His value kept going down, but I kept him. And he finally did get a couple of returns towards the end of that. But overall, was it worth me holding him for so long? No, it wasn't. And I'm not going to make that mistake again. He's got Liverpool in game week 3. Do I think he's going to do well there? If I'm being honest, no. Because when I watched that game against Brighton, United weren't any better than last season. Yes, they've just signed Ugarte, but is he going to start? Because look what happened against Brighton. I mean, De Ligt doesn't start. He starts Harry Maguire along with Martinez, so that doesn't work. He doesn't start the striker Xerxes, even though he scored in game week 1. I mean, he was the reason why they didn't get the second goal in game week 2. He keeps starting Rashford, who's rubbish. So I have no confidence really in the Man United side. So instead of trying to hold him for game week 3 and have him for game week 4, I'm just going to sell him, because 5 he's got Palace, 6 he's got Spurs, and 7 he's got Villa. So I don't see any point in holding him at all. So I've got rid of him. He's gone down 0.1 mil. It just made sense to do it. So yeah, I brought Palmer in. Now I was going to bring Palmer in my original plans for game week 2. I was going to take Saka out. That's why I had 0.5 million in. I was going to take Saka out and put Palmer in, but I didn't go for that. I kind of bottled it, if I'm being honest. And obviously, I do regret it somewhat, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad that I've decided to get rid of Fernandes instead of Saka. So now I've got Saka and Palmer in my team. So Palmer's got Crystal Palace at home. Great fixtures. Hopefully, he also smashes it like he did in game week 2. So yeah, I mean, Palmer's fixtures going forward as well are really good, to be fair. And I do think he'll go up in price. I think he'll go up to 10.6 mil by the end of the deadline. Obviously, I can't confirm that, but it looks like he could do. And his fixtures are really good. 3 home fixtures in the next 5, and they are Palace, Brighton and Nottingham Forest. He's away to Bournemouth and West Ham in 4 and 5. So yeah, for the next 5 game weeks, I'm really happy in having Palmer as... well, in my team, should I say. So replacing Fernandes with Palmer obviously meant I needed to fund money elsewhere, because I only had 0.5 in the bank and there was a £2 million difference between them both. So I need to find 1.5 million. So I looked at my team, and Newcastle I've not been happy with in the first 2 games. I'm not going to lie. And when you look at their fixtures after, well, now the first 2 games are done, because to be fair, the first 2 games for Newcastle was really quite ideal for for the start of the season. I mean, I know it did beat Southampton, but it was only just. But now you look at their fixtures. I mean, Spurs, Wolves, Fulham, Man City are the next 4. Not quite confident. Then they do have Everton. I think Everton and Wolves are the nice ones, but then we got Brighton, Chelsea, and Arsenal to game week 10. 2 good, decent game weeks in the next 7. That is not appealing to me at all. So, because they've been disappointed as well, mostly, I've decided to take him out. And so, finding another striker has been probably the difficult decision on who to go for. There's Chris Wood, was an option. João Pedro was an option. There's so many other options. I'm just going to have a quick look now because I can't remember off the top of my head. So, I mean, Watkins, you'd think I would have brought him in because of the fixtures. I've decided not to go for that. I mean, that could backfire me. I mean, if it did backfire me, then I'd probably have to take out one of my star midfielders in either Saka or Jota to fund Watkins. But for now, I'm going to go without Ollie Watkins. So you're looking at, I had 7 million left in the bank. So you're looking at people like Cunha's got 2 fixtures for Wolves, so he's not worth going for. Evan Nilsson, I think that's how you say his name, Bournemouth. He's not proven yet, so I'm not going for him. I'm not touching Calvert-Lewin. I'm not touching Vardy because I'm not liking how Leicester have started. I think Southampton are the worst team in the league currently right now, so I'm going nowhere near Armstrong, who, by the way, seems to always fail when he's in the Premier League, so that's another thing to think about. So there wasn't really a lot out there. It was more or less between João Pedro, Liam Delap, who I had my eye on, and then also Wizard. Now, the reason why I've gone for Wizard, I mean, you could also say Muniz as well, or Fulham, but he's been a bit disappointing today, and he could score, but I've gone for Wizard, and the reason why, I mean, it's not just because, obviously, game week 3, he's got Southampton at home, which obviously is a cracking fixture, because game week 4 and 5, he's got Man City and Spurs, and they're both away, which isn't obviously ideal, but then after those 2 fixtures, you're looking at West Ham, Wolves, Man United, I think they can score against, where United are currently right now, Ipswich, Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton, and Leicester. So that takes you right up to game week 13, which is, well, right up to the end of November, going into December is when they got the tough fixtures. So that is actually a really decent fixture, and obviously looks like Ivan Toney is going to be gone from Brentford, so that leaves him as well, him and Mbumu as the main players for Brentford, unless they make obviously a last minute transfer, which I've not heard anything about just yet. But yeah, that's who I've decided to go for, Wizard and Palmer as my 2 transfers. That leaves me then with 1 million in the bank as well. So I got a lot of money to play with, a lot of things to change possibly if it doesn't work out after this game week. But yeah, Palmer and Wizard are my 2 players going into game week 3. So that leaves my captain, and that of course is going to Cole Palmer, straight in my team and straight down as my captain. When you're looking at who to go for a captain, I mean, Wizard is a consideration, to be honest, to be captain against Southampton. But the other ones, of course, your usual ones, Saka, he's the next best option, I'd say, but Brighton are a good team, to be fair. I think the fact that Jota and Haaland are away are putting me off slightly because they're playing against decent teams, to be fair. So I think Palmer does have the best fixture, and you've got to take into consideration as well, Crystal Palace have sold Anderson, and they might have lost Gay by the time this fixture happens. We'll have to see how that transfer goes. But if they do, they'll be really weak in that defence. So that is something to really look at as well. So that is how my team is going to be then for game week 3. Let me know what you think of this team. Let me know what you think of my transfers, bringing in Palmer and Wizard for Fernandes and obviously Isaac. Let me know what you guys are doing ahead of this game week. And before you go, please as well, do not forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.